April 2025. This is the Hybrid Athlete Podcast. I am your host, Nate. I am obviously a hybrid athlete by definition, but I'm really getting more into like bodybuilding. So I've been going over a couple of these episodes recently and talking about kind of my managing goals, micromanaging goals, kind of how to, schedule your training, how to kind of, strategically, pick your off days and stuff and pick your training days so that you can kind of reach your midterm goals specifically. We talked about that last episode. So I want to get into something a little bit more kind of unique or maybe a little bit more kind of mental when we talk about kind of how you kind of prepare yourself and really, dive into like what really motivates you to do what you do when it comes to working out. Because a lot of people, 99.9% of people that work out don't get paid for it. It's not really like, the motivating factor is just kind of like, well, you want to look good. That's great. But also like what really drives me, what drives other people from my experience of conversing with other folks and getting their perspectives, and then kind of like get into more of how do you kind of like stay on edge or like keep that edge just as you go, like on a day-to-day process or on a week-to-week process. I'm going to go through like mesocycles. I'm going to talk quickly about kind of, week to week specifically, like how do you change things up? I talked about basically how to like I said, how to strategically select, if you want to bring up your back, don't do leg day before back day, vice versa, kind of like, picking a specific exercise for chest if you want to target chest or grow chest differently, if you want to feel the movement. None of that's new news. It's just kind of like packaged in a way I think that kind of represents my mentality and how I focus on my fitness and, try to change kind of make the biggest improvements that I can in the shortest amount of time. And that's why I wanted to make this episode, because I kind of had an aha moment or just kind of a reflective point of maybe, it's nice to be like David Goggins. It's nice to, wake up early, work out every day, even when you're tired, go hit the weights, high volume, high reps, go, kind of be mental with it, so to speak. But there is a benefit I'm kind of seeing more in my own personal life because my schedule changed a little bit. My son now is in spring sports, so I can't work out twice a day, 2 days a week like I usually do or have in the past. What I'm doing now is I'm basically having early workouts, 2-3 days, then I'm having a couple of afternoon workouts and then a Saturday workout. I'm still working out 6 days a week, but I'm not working out 8 times a week. I'm working out 6 times a week, once every day for 6 days, taking Sunday off, as opposed to working out twice on Monday, twice on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And what I'm saying is that there's a small window of recovery that I was missing out on. And my point I'm making is I'm really like kind of hyped about that because it's probably been inhibiting some of my progress. I'm just coming off like a fitness competition where I didn't do quite as good as I wanted to because of penalties and stuff. And I don't think I made the cut for like the final competition, which isn't great, but it is what it is. But ultimately I feel good because I basically like come off of like maybe a couple extra rest days. I took like a Wednesday off, which I don't usually do. I came back Thursday, felt really good, hit a nice workout Friday, had more energy than I'm used to having on Saturday. And I think that's kind of like a momentous effect of maybe without realizing it, especially us who are like hardcore gym goers, dedicated, want to get in there. It's obviously overtraining. That's a term that everyone's familiar with. But I want to talk about kind of like the mental benefits of not overtraining, because you're more likely going to go to the gym more times every week, motivated and high energy, if you force yourself to kind of take that extra break. Don't go balls out at the beginning of the week. Give yourself some time to recover. And a week is 7 days, but your cycle or your mesocycle training doesn't necessarily have to be broken down in weeks and days and months. It can be broken down more on how you feel. I think I want to call out Nick Walker. He's top tier bodybuilding, probably one of the top 5 to 6 bodybuilders in the world, even though he hasn't competed in 2 years at the Olympia. Those who know about Nick Walker, he's a fucking beast. Like, he's dedicated to his craft. Like, he knows what he's doing all the time. But he's even said like he kind of had figured out like things that he had to make to changes he had to make to like back off, not overtrain, like get his body to respond how he wants. Because he was flat. He pulled out of the Olympia last year. So that's like a top tier kind of example of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like really like digging in, like self-reflecting and saying, where have I made decisions to like overtrain, or where have I made a decision to maybe, not do something when I was consciously aware of, ooh, this would be good for me type thing. For me, an example is cutting back on cardio and taking a little bit more rest. It's like a double whammy here. It's kind of like, well, I'm used to like, running 20, 30 miles this time of year every week, working out, lifting weights 5 days a week still, just doing everything, go. My joints are like sore sometimes. I'm just fatigued. I go to bed early. I wake up. I still would try to wake up early, but I'm like, my sleep is important, but it's just like, less of an impact on like, oh, if I have a hard 2 a day workout, I wake up the next day and I feel like I got hit by a truck. People, there's definitely like benefits and, to like taking more rest. So ultimately, how do you take advantage of that? And what I've done like these last couple of weeks specifically is like I've increased the weight of my sets, which is great. I'm actually getting slightly quicker, like not just like lifting and maintaining my strength, but like, I'm still growing, like my muscles are getting bigger, or I'm noticing a physical difference with the same amount of weight, which is good. Control, form, everything is like on point. But I'm starting to see more of like a slower, like more steady rise in the weight that I'm lifting as well, and form is staying on point. And it's just like a higher quality overall. It might be like 1 or 2 reps every set, or even 1 or 2 reps every exercise. If you're really in the mindset of like being in tune with your body and mind, making that mind to muscle connection, you're gonna notice that. And the point I want to make, kind of alongside adjacent to this, is that when you start to experience like that momentous change in your workouts, you're going to start seeing maybe like a better execution of everything, like maybe a better execution of diet. Maybe maybe you don't feel quite as much as like, oh, I need to execute this because I'm disciplined, but I'm not quite seeing the good results that I want. Again, the other end of the spectrum is, oh, I'm only going to work out 3 days a week because Dorian Yates did it in the night he was Mr. Olympia. Well, most of us can't train that intense because we're just not that, we're not taking steroids and we're not that elite, and we don't have all the mature muscle that someone like that does. So it's not good to say, oh, I'm going to take a bunch of time off. But I think for anyone who's kind of like me, is just a little bit like, really kind of obsessed with going to the gym and just loves the habit of going, if you maybe just pull back like 5-10%. If I were to quantify how much I've pulled back, it's like literally 5 or 10%. It's like one workout on Monday and then a light workout on Tuesday, and that's it. And everything else is pretty much the same reps, same split, same muscle, same exercise regimen, pretty much. Maybe just some subtle changes in like stretching a little bit more if I'm only working in the working out once on Monday, whatever. But bottom line is, I've really seen like a really nice kind of uptick in everything. Like my sleep pattern's still on point, my hydration's still good, my nutrition, my supplements are still, I'm still taking the same ones. But I'm seeing like that edge maybe towards the end of a workout, like, oh, like mentally, I'm like, fuck yeah, like I didn't work out this morning at 5 a.m. So this afternoon I can really like, dig into like, okay, maybe do it. If I'm working back, like I'm going to do more T-bar rows. I'm going to like, dig in and like, cause I know like, okay, I'm not going to train back again until Saturday. This Tuesday, let's go all out, because I know that I'm only working out. I have only worked out once this morning, and just kind of like that bank account, that accumulation of effort and like volume and just muscle fatigue. It overlaps over time. Theoretically, scientists say like you can work out really hard and then in 72 hours you can work out the same muscle group. That's great if you're not doing other muscle groups just as hard. Like, for example, arms. If I do arms hard one day and then I go and do a back workout, my grip strength is a little bit off because I did arms hard yesterday, and then my back workout's going to be, I need to make sure I use straps and grab that lat pull down bar or whatever it is. So ultimately, that's the point I'm trying to make. Is I talked about last week about like kind of getting in touch with your midterm goals, and making sure like, how to gauge your goals, how to like, what adjustments do you make? And then like the adjustments are more like, last week I talked about being focused more on like legitimate, like strategic adjustments, like change the order of your exercises, do incline barbell instead of incline dumbbell if you feel it more, or maybe do like rope extensions or something for tricep if you feel it more. And then like focus on kind of like maybe, obviously varying volume is important. Like the hypertrophy range ideally is like between 8 and 12 reps. But if you jump up to 15 and increase the weight a lot and go down to 6 reps, that's a good strategy just to kind of shock your muscle too. But getting back to this conversation, this is more of just like, how can you benefit from changing total volume and total time spent working out? And really like kind of like double dip on that and try to, if that makes sense, I hope it does. Like try to take advantage of being well rested more frequently in the week. And then you might see maybe your exercise, executing one specific exercise improves. For me, it's almost like if I have a leg day after a back day and my back's not tight as hell if I'm doing barbell squats, because I did do a back day before, but it's almost like my back day was compounded by my HIIT cardio and my chest day and arm day before. Like I worked 3 or 4 muscle groups in like 2 days, usually when I start the week, which maybe wasn't that smart, but I'm seeing like a nice, refreshing change to kind of how I feel over the whole week. and my body weight's still going up. Like I said, supplements, sleep, everything remains constant, right? It's like you're controlling all the variables, but you're just changing this one, you can really benefit. So it's about 10 minutes long. Hope this little chat makes sense. Check out my shorts. I'm posting my physique updates. I'm almost to 210 pounds, so we're about to get it. Then we might do a little cut and get maybe down to 210. Go from 210 to about 200, 196 to 200, nice and lean. So looking forward to that. But thanks for watching. Everyone have a good day, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye.